Before we go ahead and conclude this module, which is our first module on NHAIR, we do have another module on NHAIR coming up right after. I wanted to talk about caching out a simulation. For example, let's say I kind of like what I have, I like my play blasts, but now I want to go ahead and cache it out so maybe I can scrub through it, test what it's going to look like with the hair on to full, which we know can be a bit slow since it has to calculate the physics. So what we can do is actually cache out the simulation to files on our hard disk. So rather than calculating dynamically every time we select the frame, it'll just read the dynamic file directly off of the hard drive and show us what it looks like at that frame. So to go ahead and do this, I'm just going to have my hair system selected. I'm going to come up over here to Ncache, create new cache, and I want to select an object. I'm going to go to my option box. We'll just bring that over here and we'll go ahead and reset here. And you can see it's going to go into my folder over here. So let me drag back a bit. So cache, Ncache, the name of my current scene, and it's going to refer to hair system shape 1. The rest of the settings are just fine. I'm going to go ahead and click to create the cache, and I'll pause while it does its thing. All right, it's all cached out. You can see now I can go ahead and select any frame I'd like. I can even drag through it, and we can actually watch in almost real time how our simulation works. So I no longer also need to look at these collision objects. I'm going to go to collision here, go ahead and turn that off. And we can also go ahead and hide the curves overall. Just hit Control H to hide those. And we'll go to our hair system and turn up the display quality on the hair. So now we can actually view the hair itself. Now this won't react in real time, but you could say I can at least now click through and see how the hair is going to look. So let's go ahead and do another play blast and see how this looks moving with this Paint Effects hair. All right, and here we go. So we can see the physics are actually looking really good. The hair feels a lot more naturalistic. So we now kind of have a great idea of how we can start using NHAIR and how we can set up the physics. However, we really haven't been able to make the hair look any good yet. It's actually very silly. It kind of looks just like a mop on his head. Creating a specific look inside of NHAIR is a whole monster on its own, so we're going to devote the entire next module to that. So for now though, let's go ahead and recap what we've covered in this module. So we started by taking a look at NHAIR in general. We took a look at where we can find NHAIR inside of our interface, and we also took a look at the basic NHAIR node structure that included the nucleus, the hair system, the follicles, as well as the other nodes that are involved. We then took a look at different hair creation methods that included using the create hair option, where we looked at both the grid method and the point/faces options. We also took a look at using the paint hair follicles tool, not just for creating new hairs, but also for deleting hairs, as well as going in and trimming and extending hairs. We then took a look at adjusting the clump and hair settings. This is what allowed us to actually take those curves and add all the different hairs growing off of them and shape them out in interesting different ways. We then took a look at working with collisions so that we can actually have our hair collide with other objects, as well as having the hair collide with itself. We then took a look, of course, at working with the dynamics on our hair. We took a look at the overall nucleus dynamics, as well as all of the different dynamic settings found within the actual hair system. And then we finished things off by taking a look at how we can actually cache out our hair simulations so that we don't have to calculate the hair every single time we hit play or drag through our timeline. So again, that's the end of this module. However, there's a lot more we're going to go over regarding NHAIR in our next module. I'll see you all there.